Okay, guys. We're gonna continue our discussion about what? What are we discussing? Leadership. Okay. We're gonna have a very interesting topic today, and I'm gonna be very lenient. I'm not gonna be like other speakers who don't like interruption. So you can interrupt, you can eat, you can drink, you can come in the conversation at any time you want. So it's gonna be more of a discussion type than a lecture type, and actually the topic is very interesting because it affects us youth in this church very much, and maybe we can put some principles that can help us live as youth inside of the church. The first time we spoke about leadership, it was about what? Integrity. And the main idea was honor your word. Okay, so honor your word. Today we're gonna talk about assessment of a leader. Okay, so basically we're talking about characters that you think a leader should have. This is gonna be our main topic. I'm gonna mention some characters, but I'm gonna give the floor for you guys to tell each other what do you think is an important character in a leader. Okay, so you think the leader that should be in the church or in the meeting or in the committee, what kind of characters you need to have that this person would have so that he can be a good leader. Before we get into this, I'm gonna speak a little bit about 2 points. The first point is, maybe Maar touched a little bit about this last time, who is a leader? Because I really don't want you to feel that this topic is not for me. And this topic is for Uncle Samir or Uncle Hani or Abuna, the leaders. Okay? So what do you think, guys? Who is the leader? What do you think? If this topic is going to be relevant to Olivia or not? What do you think, Olivia? If this topic is going to be relevant to everyone or not, guys? Why? Why? Why is going to be relevant?
Well, you're a leader in different aspects of your life.
Excellent. Like?
Whether it be in church or at home or with your younger siblings or in Sunday school or in school.
Excellent. Very good. That's exactly it. Everyone, one day, maybe not now, like in one day, you're going to be in a position of a leadership. Okay? Whether in the church, now we have a lot of committees and we have coordinators and we have committees working on team building, a lot of activities, and every activity has a leader that's in the church. Maybe one day you're going to be a bigger leader in the church. خدوا بالكم انه what we're going to say today might not be relevant immediately now, لكن it's going to be relevant one day in your life. I assure you that. One day you're going to assume a responsibility of a leader. For guys, we're going to talk a little bit about leadership at home. When you get married, what is the role? What is your role as a guy? And what is your role as a girl in this leadership system? Okay, because there is a system, there is a biblical system that the Bible have put so that the church or the house or the school or whatever you are involved in will go in the right place. Okay, so please don't just sit there and say, oh, this topic is not for me, topic is for the uncles, for people who are 27, 28, 29 years old who are really a leader. This is, if it's not affect you or if it's not relevant for you right now, it's gonna be relevant for you one day. Okay, that's the first point. Okay, so the second point before we get into the main topic, which is the characteristics of the servant, is what is the role of a leader? What is the main role of a leader? What do you think? What is the main role of a leader?
Makes decisions.
Makes decisions. Very good. Excellent. Makes decisions for what? Excellent. And this is the word that I want to put in your mind. So a leader should have a goal. What we call in a more biblical expression, a vision. Okay? So a leader should have a vision. A leader should have a goal. So for example, I'm going to be very practical. We have a committee called what? Team building. Committee, اسمها team building. What is the goal of this committee? Okay, so we have a leader for this committee, and this leader is responsible to have a clear vision of what is the role of the committee. Why this is very important? Why this is very important?
Because if the leader gets sidetracked, then the whole group gets sidetracked, and eventually you don't do what you need to.
You don't accomplish anything. Okay, you don't accomplish anything. If you don't know exactly what is supposed you to do, what is expected from you, you're not gonna achieve anything. Okay, if you don't know that you are going to this address in Long Island, you cannot even put it on the GPS. You're gonna be lost. So a leader, first of all, the importance of a leader is that he has to have a clear goal, a clear vision. This is my responsibility. Okay? Reach out committee. مثلا, we have a leader and then we have people with the leader. I'm gonna talk a lot about the relationship between the leader and the people with him. Okay? Like the leader should know exactly these are the people that I have to reach. My responsibility is to reach out to these people. So when I know that my responsibility, my goal, my vision is to reach out for people who didn't come to church, I'm not gonna waste my time talking to Aida, who is here every Friday. Okay? I can talk to Aida, I can talk to Olivia, I can talk to Bassem, but this is not my goal. My goal is the people who haven't been coming to church for a long time. It has to be clear, the vision has to be clear, and the goal has to be specific. Okay? The goal and the vision has to be, we're gonna reach out to people. No. We're gonna reach out to people who haven't been here for certain amount of time. Okay? We started an Arabic meeting on Sunday, and we said these are the type of people that we're gonna reach out to. So that, مثلا, say that we're gonna invite only singles. مثلا, the committee decided that. So if I find someone who has been married and has kids who are 10 years and 15 years, he's not part of my reach out. The goal, the vision has to be clear and specific. I insist on the idea of specific. Hatta even they say that in your prayers should be specific. مش يا رب باركنا, God bless us, God no. Prayer also should be specific. Ya Rab, bless me in this. Okay? So we spoke about who is a leader. Everyone, one day you're gonna be a leader. So learn it from now. The second point, what is the role of a leader? The role of a leader is to accomplish a specific goal or vision. And I'm gonna put 100 lines under the word specific. Okay? Now we're gonna talk about characters of a leader. Things that the leader should have in order to be a good leader. طبعا I'm using the word leader, I'm gonna say that anyway. Things that the leader should have in order for him to be a good leader. I'm gonna say some characters, and then I'm going to open the floor for anything that you think that I didn't mention. Well, again, if you disagree or you want to add something to what I'm going to say, please feel free to do so. أول حاجة in a leader، خدوا بالكم احنا we're talking about assessment. So a leader should have time to sit down and see and evaluate myself or himself. Am I doing a good job or not? And these are the characters that's gonna decide if you are doing a good job or not. Number one is godliness. Okay? Godliness يعني ايه؟ يعني I cannot get a leader in the church طبعا. I cannot get a leader who has no relationship with God. And I'm gonna say that why when I talk about the system, how the church works. And I know that we're gonna have a big fight when we talk about this. Like this is very important, especially in now in our church. We need to understand how the church works. Whether we like it or not, we're gonna try to have a biblical principles of how the church works. Like a third thing is that the leader should be godly. يعني ايه godly? يعني his head is God. Okay? He should have a relationship with God so that God is his what? Leader. Okay? So if I'm a leader, I'm not كده يعني زي ما بيقولوا in Arabic يعني ملياش كبير. No. Any leader will have a leader. And I'm going to talk about this in detail later on. Okay? So a godly leader or a leader who's doing a good job should have God as his leader. If God is not your leader, we're going to have a lot of problems. Because why? Because, okay, we want to reach out to people who didn't come to church. And I'm not a godly person. So what I'm going to do? I want to reach out to people who didn't come to church. And I'm not a godly person. So where this is going to lead me? No, I'm going to reach out. But what's going to be the problem? Huh? I'm going to bring them closer to me. That's one thing. Okay? Marina?
Reach out to them, but you're not going to bring them back to the right direction.
I can reach out to them, but I'm not going to bring them
Back on the right direction.
back on the right direction. Olivia?
Well, if you're being a leader and you're trying to bring them back to church, they're gonna think of you as a hypocrite because you don't go to church yourself.
That's very good.
Well, if you're not godly and you're trying to lead them to church, you might like what they're doing and then you might stray off.
Very good. Very good. Excellent. There are more. If I'm not a godly person, okay, let's do a dance party so we can bring everybody. Okay? So you're gonna use a wrong way to bring people. Okay? If I'm not a godly leader, I'm gonna reach out to these people. If I am مثلا a bar goer, okay? If I am the kind of person that goes to a bar and have a drink every week on a regular basis, so I'm gonna reach out, okay, to these people. I'm gonna go to Marina. I'm gonna bring Marina to where? To the bar. Okay? This is very serious. That in any leadership, the leader should be godly. And we say godly, يعني his head is God. I am Marina.
I don't understand why you would lead people to church if you're not godly.
Okay, so why you want to bring people to church if you are not godly?
Make yourself feel
Very good.
Sometimes it just makes yourself feel better.
It makes yourself feel better. What else?
Well, you may not be godly, but you may want to look godly. So by doing a service, you look godly.
Very good. You might look godly in the church, but actually you're not godly. Very good. What else?
You might have good intentions and want them to come to church and you want to lead them, but it just turns out that you're not strong enough to be able to set that boundary and say, no, I won't go to.
So you'll go with them.
Yeah.
Okay. Very good.
But that's a struggling person. That's not a godly person.
That's a struggling person.
That's like everyone struggles. I mean, like
So it's a
you're
godly
throwing
person.
yourself in the pit technically.
We're all struggling.
So okay, so that brings us to what a godly person. What is a godly person? Mm.
I mean, I kind of just understand what Marianne's saying, and I don't. I mean, maybe we use a bad example.
Okay, I'm gonna answer Marianne's question. I'm gonna answer Marianne's question. You know, there is an attitude in the church. And this is very practical, by the way. There is an attitude of the church. Okay, so I'm gonna use Mark because I know Mark مش هيزعل مني. Mark is someone who is away from church. Okay? So in order to bring Mark to church, هعمل ايه؟ I'm gonna make him a leader. اقول له مارك تعالى اخدم معايا. Or Mark تعالى help me in this committee. Okay? فمارك طبعا, and we're gonna talk about this later on, he feels what? Now I'm a leader. So he comes to church because someone, Samir, invited him to come, and we all do that, by the way. I do that personally. But I really don't think that's right. Because if I'm gonna bring someone away from the church to make him a leader, that's a very dangerous situation. And we all do that. We have the attitude, and okay, هاته يخدم. لما يخدم هيقعد في الكنيسة. That can be right, لكن it has a big side effect. إنه لو ممكن قوي إنه if he's not really godly, the side effects for him being a leader can overweigh the benefit of him being as a leader. In addition to this, now أنا بقيت خادم. حضرت three servants.
Who's Anna?
أنا.
Mark. The one.
Mark.
Oh, Mark.
Mark. أنا حضرت three servants. بحضر اجتماع الخدام. أنكل إيميل قال لي تحضر اجتماع الخدام. So I became a servant. Okay? And I like this type. And we all follow this way of thinking that أنا خادم. And we know a lot of people that just go to pre-service because they want the title. And because they're not gonna be servants without attending pre-service, okay, so let me attend pre-service. There is a big danger of being a servant just for the title. I'm gonna speak about this later on. Lakin, again, a servant or a leader should be godly. And godly معناه God is my head. I have a relationship with God, and God is my head.
So you're saying include them, but make them feel part of your group, part of your team, but don't put them in any position
In a responsible
of
position.
responsibility.
Right. بالظبط كده. بالظبط كده.
But then where do you draw the line later if people do change?
Do change to the better, well, to the worse.
What to better?
Like when do you then allow?
So now you become a servant, you become a leader.
But in your eyes, but what are the other people?
Okay? I think, بصوا guys, we're gonna be very honest كمان. We're gonna be very honest. The Bible speaks clearly that من ثمارهم تعرفونهم. يعني إيه؟ يعني from their fruits, you know them. Okay? If I'm godly, I'm gonna have godly fruits. Right? I'm gonna be able to love. And we're gonna talk about this. I'm gonna be able to give my time, love people, lift people up. من ثمارهم تعرفونهم. From their fruits, you know them. Okay? If you come and tell me, okay, I go every Thursday or Friday to a bar, I don't think that's right. Because again, the disadvantage of being an ungodly servant is more than just being a servant. Okay? Again, this is very debatable, and I'll tell you we can have a lot of arguments and we can have a lot of discussion. Like the Bible says that a leader or a servant should have God as his head. It's up to you to decide that. Okay? Like again, من ثمارهم تعرفونهم. From their fruits you know them. Okay? There is a big danger of having an ungodly servant because he's gonna bring the people to him. He's gonna do maybe ungodly things in order to bring them. He's gonna bring them, and I know people like that. People come And the Bible say that people come, and then when they come, you make them ibnan li-Jahannam. Yani you make them
Son of perdition.
son of perdition. Thank you very much. Okay? So the first thing is a godly leader. Okay? Number two, and this is again very dangerous. And we're talking about assessment, things that a leader should have. Number one, leader should be godly. Number two, leader should be humble. Okay? Some leaders or some servants just want to become servant because of the title. And I insist on that. Okay? I want to be servant because I want to be called in the church as a servant. Some servants have what I call a specific agenda. From outside, I'm a servant. Like from inside, جوايا, I have a specific agenda. I want to be a servant so that the girls كلها تتلم حواليا. أنا كنت كده زمان. وأنا كنت دون جوان. كده؟ Girls are attracted to the personality of a servant. So someone who is up there, who is يعني good at something, الناس كلها تتلم حواليه. So this person has a specific agenda. A good leader, a godly leader should have God as his goal. Not me, not a specific agenda. This is very dangerous. You want to be a leader, so check yourself. If you want to be a leader because I want to be titled as a leader or a servant, or I really love God and I want to serve. Okay? So number two, humility. Why you want to be a servant or why you want to be a leader? Is that anything inside كده من جوه that probably no one knows about it. Like it's deep inside. When I become servant, البنات كلها تتلم حواليا. When I become servant, الناس is gonna respect me. When I become servant, I can be over the rules. A lot of people do that. They become servants, and I'm going to talk about this, by the way, later on, because in my personal experience, people who give me the most difficulty in retreats مثلا or trips or أي حاجة بنعملها are the older people اللي هم the servants. Why? Because I think, because I'm a servant, I'm above the rules. The rule says that أي rule say that any rule.
You staying in line for taking.
I'm going to give you a rule. The rule says that I have to be in bed in a retreat at 2 o'clock. That's very reasonable. يعني ده بوظان يعني. Okay? I have to be in bed by 2 o'clock in the morning. طبعا مين اللي بيقعدوا late؟ أصحاب سمير اللي they know that Samir is not gonna yell at them because he loves them and they love him and they're older and والناس الغلابة اللي لسه freshman ومع ايه هم دول اللي يخشوا يناموا. لكن الناس أوليفيا عشان صاحبة سمير وسمير is not gonna yell at her. She stays late. She goes get. No, I'm just kidding. Okay. So some people like it's a we think it's a privilege to be or it's a privilege to be a leader or a servant, and I want this type. It's very dangerous. Okay? You attend pre-servant because it's good for you. Not because this is the way to be a leader or a servant in Sunday school. Okay? So the first thing is, first assessment, first character is godly. Second, humility or humility. Humility, no specific agenda. Okay? You want to be a leader because God is calling you to serve. You like serving, you not because of the privilege to be a servant. Okay? That's number 2. Homa 5 things. I'm going to finish very soon. Number 3, there is a biblical system there is a biblical system. I don't know how much you're gonna like this, but this is what the Bible says. What the Bible says is what? There is a hierarchy system. Okay? Christ is the head of the church, and the church is the body, and we are members. So basically, there is a head, okay, and there is the body, and we are members. Okay? So the hierarchy system means that, and I'm gonna be very specific. We in the summer activities, masalan, we have committees. We have a prayer committee. Okay, Phil Paula. Okay, so Paula is not here. We're gonna talk about Paula. So we have a prayer committee. So there are 3 people in the prayer committee. Okay, the prayer committee is head by Paula. Okay, so now we're gonna sit together and we're gonna decide that we have a prayer meeting on Friday. And actually, we do have a prayer meeting next Friday. Okay, so the committee, the prayer committee, the 3 people are gonna sit with Paula. Okay, not because Paula is the best of the 4. Like Paula is the one that was picked for whatever reason. Maybe he's friend of Abuna, maybe he's friend of Samir, maybe he's whatever. He is picked. Okay, so there are 3 people. The head of these 3 people is Paula. So now the 4 people are gonna sit together and they're gonna decide on what we're gonna do in the prayer meeting. Okay? We agree. في مصر بيسموها دلوقتي عشان انتخابات حاجه اسمها توافقيه. توافقيه يعني we all agree upon it. We all agree that the prayer meeting is gonna be from 10:30 to 12:30. Fair enough. Okay? We don't agree. We are 4. 2 people say no, we have to do it from 10 to 12, and 2 other people say we're gonna do it from 11 to 1. Okay? So we have to make what? A decision. Well split. Who's gonna make the decision? Paula, the head of the committee. Okay? So Paula decides that we're gonna do the prayer meeting from 10 to 12. And then Paula has what? A hierarchy. It's a hierarchy system. Okay? So Paula is gonna come and talk to Ma'ar, who is next in the pyramid. Okay? Ma'ar says, okay, Paula, that's a good idea. Let's do it from 10 to 12. Or he can say what? No, Paula, it's not a good idea because 1, 2, 3, we're gonna do it from 11 to 1. Okay? So say Ma'ar agrees to do it from 10 to 12. Now he has to take the decision to Samir. Okay? So Samir, should we do it from, it happens على فكرة. هي شكلها طويلة بس هي ما بتاخدش وقت قوي كده زي ما انتوا متفكرين. Okay? Like that's how it works. Okay? So Samir says, okay, no, it's not okay. We have to do it from 11 to 1 because of 1, 2, 3. Okay? Ma'ar and the committee has to do what? Has to do what? Listen to Samir. That's the hierarchy system. Okay? Basically, خدوا بالكم انتوا عارفين البروبلم, and we're gonna talk about marriage in the same context. You think that the one who makes the decision is privileged. Actually, all the headache comes on the one who makes the decision. Why? Because if it fails, هتيجي على دماغه. Okay? If it fails, هتيجي على دماغه. There is the decision of making, and I'm just giving you a very practical example. The decision of canceling the retreat or doing it in a hotel combined with that wasn't easy. And if the idea of doing it, مثلا a combination between hotel and St. Basil fails, it's gonna come to the one who made the decision. Okay? So you come and you say, okay, Samir agrees or Samir disagrees, whatever, and then Samir has to take it to Abuna, because Samir is not the ultimate person. There is an Abuna. And if it's something related, we're making a decision like the lounge, masalan. The lounge committee, because it involves the church, you have to take not only Abuna Michael, masalan, you have to take the other priests. Okay? if you are making a decision related to Shamamsa, okay, say I, Samir, مش عاجبني شمامسة. Okay, say مثلا مش عاجبني صوتك، أو مش عاجبني إن هما نص هنا ونص هنا، أو عايز أدخل بنات، أي حاجة مثلا أي حاجة. Okay, I think I have the right to take this. مش هعمل إيه بقى؟ Okay guys, next week بنات I'm gonna have Tonyas for you. You're gonna البس شمامسة. You cannot do that. Okay? Because there is a hierarchy system. So if Samir thinks that's the best way to do it, he has to speak to the one responsible about Shamamsa. He's going to talk to Azmi. If Azmi sees it's a good idea, he's going to talk to the clergy. If the clergy sees it's a good idea, they have to talk to the bishop. If the bishop thinks it's a good idea, he has to speak to the Pope. And then the Pope says, no, stop it. Okay? Like this is based on that Christ is the head of the church or of the body and we are members. Okay? This is not to make things complicated, because when we talk about love, which is the ultimate authority, okay, things, if it happens in love, there will be no problem whatsoever. لكن البروبلم بتتعمل when love is taken away of the formula. Okay? And the ultimate authority of a leader, whether it's Paula, whether it's Ma'ar, whether it's Samir, whether it's Abuna Michael, whether it's the clergy, the ultimate authority of any of these is love. يعني أنا الauthority بتاعتي is not because I'm 6 years old. That's not my ultimate authority. My ultimate authority, I can come and yell at Bishoy and tell Bishoy what you're doing is not right because I love him and he knows that very well. Like if I come from a position of Ana Samir, okay, and I'm telling you what you're doing is wrong, he can listen. He can listen. Like من جواه, he's gonna feel horrible. This is the core of the discussion today. That my ultimate authority as a leader is love. And not only love, sacrificial love. And that's the ultimate authority of a man in his house. Because the man in his house is a leader. And his authority, he has authority. Definitely he has authority. Okay? Like his authority is because he sacrificially loved his wife and his kids. Like if this authority is gonna come from أنا الراجل وانتوا تسمعوا الكلام, forget about it. The house is gonna be destroyed. The church is gonna be destroyed. Like if the authority is coming from love, sacrificial love, everything is gonna go smooth. It's very hot, I know that. فين التكييف؟ Okay, so these are two very important points. That there is a hierarchy system in the church, okay? Because the hierarchy system, Abuna Antonius, I remember Abuna Antonius Marra, we had a problem in one of the events. وبعدين جه قال لي it's always good to have a boss. عارفين ليه؟ لأنه أنا مثلا I got an email. What should we do with this? And I really don't know what should we do with this. So the best way is to do what? Ask Abuna. Right? It's the boss. We think that the leader is I'm a leader. No. The leader is a responsibility. It's a big responsibility because the decision is going to be ultimately هتيجي على دماغه. Whether it's right, he's going to get credit. If it's wrong, هياخد على دماغه. واحنا مصريين ما بنرحمش. Okay? So فعلا هياخد على دماغه. Okay? لكن اللي عايز اقوله and I really wanna emphasize this idea that the ultimate authority of a leader is because of his love to the people that he is leading, not from an authority that he got from the clergy or from the church or what, if I have an authority from the clergy, like and I'm not able to convey or to lead my people through love and care, forget it, it will never work. Whether on a church level or on a family level, and I'm gonna say that again because I know that there was a lot of questions about man is the head of the house and man is the head of the house, he is the leader, and his ultimate authority is sacrificial love. I love and I love sacrificially, that's why I have this authority. Okay, so we said godly, we said humility, we said hierarchy, and we said love. Any questions? What do you think about this hierarchy system? Guys, please, it's an open discussion. We have one more point left. 2 more points left in 5 minutes. But I want to give, I really want to hear from you guys. Danny and then Olivia.
I think hierarchy is a great thing, but it's not always practical because there's sometimes when you need to make a decision as because you're in a leader position. So you can't always go because, oh, well, you know, I'll speak to him first, or I'll speak to Abuna, and Abuna will speak to the bishop, and the bishop will speak to the pope. It doesn't always work like that. But there are some instances when you need to make a decision. And I feel like, although hierarchy...
Of course. If you are in a situation that you have to make a decision now, so you go to the higher hierarchy in the situation. So if you are in a retreat, for example, okay, and there is no abunas in the retreat, and the highest hierarchy is Samir, so you have a committee, the committee will report to the coordinator, يعني السنة اللي فاتت مثلا. We have a committee and the coordinator was Sarah. So the committee will decide on something, Sarah has to agree, and then Sarah has to convey it to Samir, okay? If it's a decision that has to be made in the retreat, that's it, that's the hierarchy. Like if it's a decision that, okay, in the retreat we want to decide that to move the meeting from SMSA1 to SMSA2, okay? So that can wait. So here, Samir has to take this decision to the hierarchy, to Abuna Michael, and then Abuna Michael has to speak to the other clergy, and maybe whoever is involved, and that's how it works. Like in Taban, in a situation where it's urgent and I have to make a decision now, you make the decision now. Olivia.
You said twice when we were reporting back to Makar and when Makar was reporting back to you that you said no or yes for the following reasons. So, is there, I mean, whenever anybody's making a decision about something, I don't think, no matter where you are in this hierarchy, that you should be saying no or yes without reasons. Is there a certain point where that doesn't happen and you're saying no or yes without having to give any?
Excellent. Very good. I wholeheartedly agree with you. Wholeheartedly. 100%. But there is a catch. The reason that I gave you, you don't like them. Okay? يعني هديك example. في الاكتيفيتيز اللي كانت بتتعمل دي, the August coordinators decided to do, no sorry, the June coordinator, main June coordinators, George Boutros decided to do a barbecue on June معرفش what. Okay? So I replied saying June is a fasting month, you cannot do a barbecue because, so that's a valid reason, you're not going to argue about that. Okay? لكن that's one thing.
It's not about barbecue. I still think it's a good idea.
We have to do it in June.
No, it has to be a value. It can't just be any reason that you think.
Okay, the problem, that's when the problem comes, and I'm very happy that Olivia has brought this. This valid reason is valid. Guys, خليكم معايا please. Hey, Sarid.
Sorry.
You are a leader.
What is this?
This valid reason, I learned. This valid reason is valid for who? Say, خلينا مثلا هنقول الاكزامبل اللي احنا بنديه. Paula, committee prayer meeting, Paula, Ma'ar, Samir, Abuna Mike. Okay? Gave Ma'ar and said, no, because on that day there is a wedding. In his opinion, it's a valid reason. Okay? In Paula's opinion, it's not a valid reason. Why? Because Paula thinks that the people who are going to be invited to the prayer meeting are different than the people who are invited to the wedding. And Ma'ar thinks that people who are going to be invited to the wedding, حتى if there are 5 people, لكن why not change the prayer meeting to a different time when everybody is available? So this idea of valid is valid for who? Is it valid for Ma'ar or is it valid for Paula? Okay? That's the catch comes here. And with this idea of valid is very personal and very different from one person to another. Okay? Say you want to do any example. This idea of it's valid for me, like it's not valid for Ma'ar or it's not valid for Paul. Like it's very valid for me. So in a situation like this, who should make the decision? George, who should do the decision? You have committee, Paula, Ma'ar, Samir, Abuna. Gina and Ma'ar, and he's decided, no, this is not good because blah, blah, blah. And Paula is not convinced that the reason that Ma'ar is giving is valid. Where should we, and that's very practical, and I'm very happy that this is being brought up. How we're going to proceed from here? Mike.
Why don't you get the viewpoint of a third party? Like a...
Okay, so the third party is going to be who? Samir, the one up in the thing, in the hierarchy. Okay, I think that's very valid. So if there is a discrepancy, maybe we can go back to Samir. Samir agrees with Ma'ar. Okay, so Samir agrees with Ma'ar, like Paula is still insisting, no, that's the best day to do a prayer meeting. So how should we go from here?
So you assign a different
I am out.
Honestly, ideally,
ما ideally ده ما بيحصلش.
Right. That's what
Okay.
I'm saying, like this democratic way, like
Right.
what do you want to say? What do you feel? What do you?
Okay,
At
so
the end of the day, certain people's opinions count.
This is the value of a leader, by the way.
okay.
Certain people's opinions count. Other people's opinions are nice to hear, but it's like, okay. And you lock the door, okay? And then you continue with what's going on.
Okay, so what do you think?
I don't think we work well democratically. Mubarak was there for a reason. You don't work
Okay.
unless someone says yes, and that's it.
Okay, so who agrees with what Mark said? Who agrees with it? Okay, I think we all agree because again, some decision has to be made. Okay, خدوا بالكم, the one who makes the decision, this is not a privilege, guys. The whole idea comes from it's a privilege to make the decision. It's a responsibility. لأنه if you do it another day and 2 people showed up in the prayer meeting, everybody's gonna jump على مين? على who made the decision. So you think that the one who makes the decision is the one privileged. The most pressure is put on the one who makes the decision. That's why it's always good to have a boss. صدقوني, it's always good to have a boss. Let's ask Fulan.
But like, I mean, it works out well where like you do that. But like, let's say Paula knows that Makar is gonna say no, and so
He knows that?
Yeah, so he knows that the decision that the Paula and the committee made, Makar is not gonna agree. So why doesn't he just skip Makar, go to Samir, and if Samir agrees, then Makar has to.
No, that's not how it works. لأنه there is the hierarchy system.
But that's
المفروض الشيء الطبيعي إنه سمير will ask Paula, did you discuss it with the committee? Did you discuss it with Ma'ar? Did you discuss it with whoever? The bottom line اللي عايز أقوله, because I want to finish, it's almost 10 o'clock. The bottom line, I think the problem هنا in the situation that we are discussing is gonna be not who made the decision. Guys, خليكم عايمينة. It's not who made the decision. I think the problem is gonna be in Paula's attitude knowing that he has to do something that he doesn't agree about. That's the real challenge. And I'm asked to do something that أبونا thinks that's the right way to do it, لكن أنا who's gonna do it, I don't think so. That's the real challenge. That's the real challenge. And my responsibility is to follow the leadership. Abuna Musa reminds me of something that I used to say like 30 years ago. Because the problems that happen today are the same problem that happened 30 years ago. We call it push in the same direction. ما ينفعش بولا يزق كده ومقار وسمير يزقوا كده. That's not a church. That's not a church. مش هتفرق كتير if we do the prayer meeting on a Friday or a Sunday or whatever. لكن what really counts, guys, this is very important. Please, please. What really counts is the love and the unity between the people. Who cares about doing the prayer meeting on a Friday like Paula wants or on a Monday like Ma'ar and Samir wants? Who cares? The most important thing is the love and the unity between the committee, Paula, Samir, and Ma'ar. That's what really counts. And if this is compromised or not there, forget about the church, forget about the house. Imagine Madeleine, and that happened, and you all know that. I want to go to the United States. I want to live in the United States. Samir wants to live in Egypt. Okay? So we struggle and we try.
Where's the hierarchy there?
Like at one time, unity and love between whether the family or the church is more important than the decision itself. Whether we're gonna live in the States or we're gonna live in Egypt, whether we're gonna do the prayer meeting on a Friday or Monday or Sunday, whether we're gonna do whatever here or there, when and what and if and how, all that, that's not what really counts. The most important thing is the love and the unity between the members of the body. If I pull this way and Joe pull this way, forget about the committee, what they're planning, the church, خصوصا لو مثلا it's the hierarchy بقى who's pulling on a different way, forget about the church, forget about the house, forget about the group. If it's a مثلا a Coptic club مثلا, the president says something and the vice president says something else, وده بيجر. هحكي لكم حاجة حصلت معايا. I would say يمكن فعلا 30 years ago. In Egypt, we used to be two people responsible about one of the biggest co-ed meetings in church. Co-ed meetings in Egypt, this is not something very old. This is something fairly new, like 20, 25. And Mary Gerges, the church that I used to serve, was pioneer in that. قبل ماري مرقس وكل الناس دي, Mary Gerges was the pioneer. Mary Gerges was pioneer in having a co-ed meeting. وكنت responsible about this meeting with one of the servants of the church. And the meeting was going very nicely, and we really were booming. We started in a small church, and then the small church got small. We got into bigger church, والناس ابتدت تسحب, وناس كتير كواد بقى كحاجة جديدة يعني في مصر الجديدة ما كانتش لسه known. Co-ed meeting شباب, that's something new. لغاية for like 6, 7, 8 years, and then we got into this. Me and this other person got divided. I'm telling you true story, guys. And since that time بقى في الجروب بتاع سمير وفي الجروب بتاع فاطمة. And since this has started, the church was it's not you. The church the meeting start going down the hill. I witnessed this, and I learned this lesson 25, 30 years ago, that the unity of the church is more important than the decision that the church is making. And the unity of the family, whether between husband and wife and kids, is more important than the decision that they are trying to make. أيوة كمان.
But I think the most important and significant issue for leadership or for not having love among the hierarchy or whatever, the group, is the ego, the selfishness. Okay, when the selfishness pops up, forget about it. That's why they always say that Jesus is the son of righteousness. If you let Jesus in front of you, your ego will be a shadow in the back.
احنا اتكلمنا عن الايجو ده في الهيوميليتي.
If you put Jesus on your back, so your ego will lead you in the front. So Jesus should be neither in the front nor in the back. You should be at the top, so my selfishness will be at the foot of Jesus.
Awesome. I'm gonna finish with this point, and then I'm gonna give a few minutes for discussion. Guys, this hierarchy system and the authority of love is very important. That's the core message of today. Okay? The last thing that you want to have as a leader, and you assess yourself on it, is fairness and favoritism. And that's a killer. A leader or a servant should have no favoritism and should love, because we said that the higher, the ultimate authority of a leader is, so I have to love, the leader has to love everyone the same. In church, we should not have favoritism. When the priest loves, he loves everyone the same. When the leader loves, he loves everyone the same. We should not love Bevnoti more than Nina, and Nina more than Kiro, or Kiro more than Mark. Regardless of anything. Regardless of anything. One of the killers of leadership is favoritism.
Is there a difference between favoritism and trust and giving responsibility?
And favoritism in what? And I said what? The ultimate authority is love. Okay? I'm gonna give an example. I gave Bevnoti a responsibility and he did it perfectly. Okay? I did Joe a responsibility, he messed it up. Okay? So now when I have another responsibility that I cannot mess it up, I'm gonna give it to who? Bevnot. Because I used him before and he proved well. But is that favoritism? Favoritism is that I love Bevnoti more than I love Joe. That's favoritism. Okay? Or I respect Bevnoti more than I respect Joe. Like if I'm in a position that I want this event to be successful, and I used Mina before, and he sucked, and he did an awful job. Sorry, I'm not gonna trust him with another event that I'm not willing the event with. I give him something that okay, if it fails, it's okay. Like okay, so we have to differentiate that. And I might hang out with Bevnoti as Samir. I might hang out with Bevnoti more than I hang out with Joe. That's not favoritism, that's relationship. Like in love, which is the ultimate authority of leadership, a leader should love sacrificial love. A leader should love sacrificially everyone the same. And that's a big challenge for any leader. If you are a Sunday school servant, مفيش حاجة اسمها you're gonna call Bevnoti and you're not gonna call Nina. You're gonna call all of them. حتى لو Bevnoti is the type of person, hi, how are you? Good. Inshallah, bye. That is this type of people who make this kind of work. Nina بتكلمه ونقعد نargue بقى ساعة وساعتين ونتكلم okay? لكن you're gonna call everyone. Maybe I'll relate more to one person. Like love and care is the same from the leader to everyone underneath him. And you guys, if you are in Sunday school, you should have no favoritism. Based on intellect, based on family, based on whatever, you should not have favoritism. You should have love, sacrificial love for everyone. In short,
Can I give a question, and whoever answered this question, I'll give him a dollar. What is the opposite of love?
Hate.
Indifference.
Put your hand, please.
كمان ده موضوع كمان
Jesus.
What else?
كمان ده موضوع كبير.
That's wrong.
اوكي
We
موضوع
understand that the opposite of love is hatred. No. The opposite of love, according to the Bible, is selfishness.
اوكي ده موضوع تاني.
See,
That's
God,
right. I'm gonna take Mariam and التاني عايز يسأل or comment. Okay, Mariam is the last one.
I think that practically speaking, though, you can't say that you can't love or favor one person more than the other because it's natural to be biased. Like
No, again, you are biased in a relationship. I love to spend more time with Bishoy than Danny, okay? Or I love to spend more time with Danny than Arme. That's not favoritism, guys. There is something common. Maybe he's also a physician. Maybe he's have the same struggles as me. So there is something common between each of us. Like when it comes to love, sacrificial love, I have to love Bishoy the same as Danny, the same as Arme. We have to differentiate between trust, love, and relationship. Okay? A leader should love sacrificially everyone underneath him. If you are in Sunday school, you should love everyone the same. You're gonna go out with one person, maybe more, lekin you're gonna love everyone sacrificially the same.
Amen.
I'm gonna finish by wrapping up the 4 or 5 points that we spoke about. Number 1, godly. Number 2, humility. No special agenda in the leadership. Number 3, hierarchy system. Number 4, the ultimate authority is the authority of love. And number 5 is no favoritism. Okay? With all the summer activities going on, I think you are in trouble.
He's looking for a dollar.
With all the summer activities that are happening, I hope this topic can be very relevant because, guys, it's you who are the leaders. It's not any one of us. It's you who are the leader, and I think this can be very well applied to everyone. So now we have a couple of announcements.
Can I say something? We have only one leader, is Jesus. Everybody else is sub-leader.
Right. Okay. The sub-leader.
That's
We have a couple of announcements. The June coordinators have they're going to tell us the plan for And Sarah, Sarah, you need to get in touch with Bishoy and Sylvia because we need a poster next week for all the events of the 3 months. George, guys, please.
So, as you all know, we're trying to get an event every week so that we could have some fun during the summer. So, next week. So, next week we're planning on having a prayer meeting directly after the Friday night meeting. The schedule will be set up.
At what time?
Right after the Friday night meeting.
10:30.
10:30, yes.
Hierarchy.
Samir said so.
Alright guys, and also to fund some of these events, we need funds. So we're trying to get, don't worry about that. So we're gonna get a 3-on-3 basketball tournament. There is buy-in. It's gonna be Saturday the 23rd. It's
June.
June. This is all in June. It's gonna start at 11 o'clock. It's probably gonna run till about 5. There will be a prize for first place. Alright, and there's also going to be a sandwich drive the Saturday after that, June 30th. And we're going to come here, we're going to make food for the homeless, we're going to go to the city, handed out.
We're gonna need money for the sandwich drive too.
We're also gonna need money for the sandwich drive. Yes, and that will be all the events for June.
Okay. So we have a prayer meeting next week. We have a 3-on-3 tournament Saturday 23rd, and we have a sandwich drive on the 30th. Okay. Sarah, thankfully, she volunteered to make a postcard with all the events, because there are going to be a lot of events, so I really want everyone to know when is the mini mission, when is the sandwich drive, when is the barbecue, so we can all know what's going on. There is an announcement that I was asked to do. I'm going to just do it. There is a theology convention for free, hosted by Rochester, New York. Again, this is Rochester, New York. This is not us. A theology convention. I have no local contact. Is my This is AYC المعهد خلص بتاعي. Like you can give Marianne money. It's next weekend.
Service, it's on discipleship.
For what?
Discipleship.
Yeah. Anything else? I really don't think there's. Guys, please make sure that next week we're gonna attend the prayer meeting. People who are responsible for the prayer meeting, they did a wonderful job before, and we really wanna spend time to pray together. Okay? So it's next Friday, inshallah, after the meeting, 10:30 to 12:30, with the church. In church. I think that's it. We're gonna need the fundraising, guys. You know that the retreat with January, we already made the deposit. The guy, Sky.
January?
Yeah, and he raised the price very much because we're trying to get. We got already more comfortable rooms for the girls, and we have better food for everyone. So the price went up. I really wanna try to keep the price in the range of 150, 155 for the 3 nights. We're gonna need fundraising for that. The street closing for the who's the fundraising committee here? Anybody from the fundraising committee? From the fundraising committee? Oh yeah, why don't you announce that? Street announcement.
Yeah. Samir.
September. You are on the fundraising? Okay, so street closing for the festival is September 29. Okay, so maybe we can do something during the festival to fundraise for the youth. For the youth. Okay? Let's pray. أخيرا يا رب كنا مستحقين أن نقول الشكر. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. Forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Through Christ Jesus our Lord. Thank you guys for coming.